Imagine opening Facebook, a place where you connect with friends, share laughter, and pass time. But hidden in its endless feeds is a silent predator, someone watching, waiting, and hunting. This is not just another story. It's a chilling reminder of how trust can turn into terror in a single click. Tonight, we dive into the shocking case known as the Facebook honey trap, catching a killer. A tale of betrayal, obsession, and a family torn apart, all because of one friend request. Stay with me till the end, because the final twist will leave you questioning every notification, every message, and every stranger hiding behind a glowing screen. It began with an ordinary teenager, scrolling through her phone in her bedroom late at night. Her screen lit up with a message, friendly, harmless, even comforting. The kind of message that makes someone feel seen. To her, it felt like the beginning of a new friendship, maybe even something more. But behind the words was not a friend. It was a man weaving a dangerous trap. His profile was carefully crafted, the right pictures, the right hobbies, the right smile. He studied his victim, mirrored her interests, and made himself into exactly the kind of person she wanted to trust. For weeks, the two exchanged messages. Secrets were shared, jokes exchanged, promises made. What looked like harmless chatting was in reality a deadly performance. She believed she had found someone genuine, but the man on the other side wasn't interested in love or friendship. He was interested in control. Slowly, the predator began to push boundaries. Compliments turned into probing questions, and private chats turned into demands. He wanted her attention all the time, wanted her isolated from friends, wanted to be the only voice she listened to. She was young, kind-hearted, and too trusting. And when he suggested meeting in person, she hesitated. But he had already built her trust so carefully that she finally agreed. She didn't know she wasn't walking toward love. She was walking toward her own doom. The night she left her house, her family believed she was meeting a new friend. They had no idea they would never see her alive again. The meeting spot was an old cafe on the outskirts of town. She thought it was just a quiet place where they could talk. But the reality was far more sinister. A car was already waiting. When she stepped inside, everything felt wrong. The silence, the shadows, the unease. What happened next was a blur of fear and violence. Hours later, her phone went silent forever. By the next morning, her family reported her missing. Police searched frantically, but there were no signs of struggle, no witnesses. Only a single cigarette butt near the cafe and faint tire marks leading away from the scene. Forensics studied every detail. The cigarette carried DNA. The tire marks hinted at a specific car. But without a name, the killer was still invisible. That's when detectives realized the predator's weapon wasn't a knife or a gun. It was Facebook itself. They decided to fight fire with fire. They created fake profiles, built carefully to mirror the kind of victims he usually hunted. It was a risky plan. If he realized it was a trap, he'd vanish back into the shadows of the internet. But if he took the bait, they might finally unmask him. While police hunted, the victim's family faced a nightmare of their own. News channels painted her as naive, blaming her for trusting too much. The family defended her fiercely, saying she was just kind, not foolish. The grief turned to determination. Her mother appeared on TV, her voice trembling. She was my daughter. She trusted the wrong person. But don't you dare blame her for his crime. Her pain fueled the urgency of the investigation. The killer was still free. And worse, he was already searching for his next victim. The undercover Facebook profiles began receiving messages. One stood out. It had the same patterns, the same style of writing, the same eerie patience. Investigators knew it was him. Conversations went on for days. The suspect believed he was grooming another vulnerable girl. What he didn't know was that every word he typed was being recorded, every move tracked. Finally, he agreed to meet. Police staged the trap carefully, surrounding the meeting point with undercover cars and plainclothes officers. This time, the hunter was the one walking into danger. The moment he arrived, the trap closed. Officers swarmed in, guns raised. The suspect froze, caught in the same kind of trap he had set for others. He was arrested on the spot. In his car, police found chilling evidence: burner phones, fake IDs, and personal items belonging to his victims. He had been doing this for years. The mask of charm he wore online was gone. In its place stood a cold, expressionless predator who had finally run out of lies. In court, the evidence was overwhelming. DNA from the cigarette matched. The chat logs told the story of his manipulation. The jury sat in silence as investigators played recordings of his twisted conversations. The victim's family sat in the front row, holding hands, bracing themselves as the truth came out piece by piece. Every message, every lie, every moment of betrayal was laid bare. When the guilty verdict was read, the courtroom erupted with emotion. The family wept, and for the first time in months, the predator showed fear, not of losing freedom, but of losing control forever. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The cold prison cell became his new reality, a far cry from the fake world of charm and lies he had created. For the family, justice brought relief, but not peace. Their daughter was gone, her life stolen by a man who had turned trust into a weapon. Healing would take years, maybe forever. Still, her story sparked change. Schools began warning students about online predators. Facebook faced pressure to strengthen its safety measures. Her death was not in vain, but investigators knew this case was just one battle in a larger war. For every predator caught, others still lurked in the shadows of the internet, sending friend requests, waiting for their next victim. The honey trap case became a warning to the world. Evil doesn't always hide in dark alleys. Sometimes, it hides behind smiling profile pictures and kind words. The predator was caged, but the danger remained. And the question still haunts us. How many more are out there, still hunting, still waiting? And that is the horrifying truth of the Facebook honey trap, catching a killer. A story of trust turned into betrayal, of love twisted into manipulation, and of a family that paid the ultimate price. But here's the question. If someone you trusted online revealed their true face, would you see the warning signs before it was too late? Or would you too fall into the trap? If this story shook you, then subscribe now, because the shadows of the digital world hide many more predators, and in the episodes ahead, we'll uncover the darkest cases that will make you rethink every message, every notification, and every friend request. Stay cautious, stay aware, and until next time, stay safe.